And I'll let you know when we're ready. All right.
Okay, so let me call this meeting to order as chair. So let's take a roll call. And I guess that's, I can't do that, can I?
No, that's me. So if you just let me know that you are here and that you can hear and speak, that would be great. Commissioner, oh, I'm hearing myself. Hold on a sec. Why am I hearing myself? Give me just a second, I'm sorry. Okay. Whew. When I go on and I start the YouTube video, I then hear it as I am sitting here. I have to close that window. I'm sorry, that's very confusing. Okay. So Commissioner Wordsworth.
Here.
And you can hear and speak. Perfect. Commissioner Scher. Commissioner Resnick.
Here.
Commissioner Caption.
Here.
And Vice Chair Cook. Oh, sorry, Commissioner Cant.
Here.
Vice Chair Cook.
Here.
And Chair McDonald.
Here.
Everybody is here. Thank you.
Okay, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance. So Sam, are you going to stand, or?
Sometimes I do. Here we go.
You can stand or sit. So let's go. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United
States of America,
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God,
with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Do we have a motion to adopt the agenda for tonight?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second? Anybody?
Second.
Thank you. Samantha, are you going to you'll do the roll call on that, right?
Yes. Commissioner Wordsworth.
Yes.
Commissioner Scher.
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Caption.
Yes.
Commissioner Cant.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cook.
Yeah.
And Chair McDonald.
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And before we approve, any comment or change or revision to the minutes of our last meeting? Doesn't appear that we do have that. So let's have a roll call to approve the minutes of our last month's meeting.
We have a motion and a second. I'm sorry.
I'll make the motion.
I hear
Second.
Kim. Marty, second. Okay. Commissioner Wordsworth.
Yes.
Commissioner Scher.
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick.
Yes.
Commissioner Caption.
Yes.
Commissioner Cant.
Yes.
Vice Chair Cook.
Yes.
And Chair McDonald.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
So
tedious.
So Samantha, is there any public comment that we don't know about?
No, we haven't received any public comment.
Thank you. So we have administrative item number 7, which has to do with marketing alignment and expectations. I just want to open it up by saying that a lot of the marketing and digital media marketing that we do funnels through Samantha and Danielle, who's also here on the call. And usually it runs pretty smoothly. Sometimes there are expectations that kind of overload them. And so I'm going to have start by having Samantha talk a little bit about marketing, how Samantha and town staff handle the marketing that goes out on our behalf, and maybe help us be a little more clear on what they can do and sometimes what they cannot do. So Samantha?
Yeah, so I just want to start the conversation by saying how excited and we are with the new excitement around marketing for the Yountville Arts. And I don't want this conversation, which I hope it just becomes brainstorming on how we can better kind of structure and handle all of the requests so that we can achieve what we want to achieve. But kind of just to explain some of the difficulties is, you know, we've gone from like here with involvement from commissioners with marketing to like way up here in the course of, 8 weeks. So, we're used to producing the brochure, or excuse me, the quarterly newsletter, and then doing social media posts, and then behind the events, we would do marketing a little bit behind that. But most of our Sip and Stroll marketing was done through the Chronicle, and we definitely did not do as many marketing and outreach type things for the gallery, which we're really ramping up. So kind of all of these things combined, Danielle and I are feeling a little bit overloaded by the requests and kind of the frequency. And I just want to brainstorm how, if we still envision, how do we envision the marketing committee really working, and how that committee works with staff, and if there's a way that we can better kind of streamline some of the stuff that's going on. And then just really that, our goal is always to really know up front what the expectation is so that we can give a timeline for meeting that, so that we're able to not like let anything fall through the cracks or have things not be to the quality or the content that you're looking for. And so really kind of just posing the question of, and we put it under an administrative item just because, it is marketing, but it's not really a report. It's more of the commission, discussing how we see this working, because it's kind of the scope of our support in marketing for the commission and all of the programs has just skyrocketed. And like I said in the beginning, it's not that we don't want to support and really embrace that, because it's all very exciting. It's just trying to figure out a way that we can integrate and manage it internally, because Danielle and I both have a whole lot of other things that, we do. And so I wasn't necessarily accounting for that escalation in need when me and Danielle discuss workloads and different things like that. So I just wanted to kind of put that out there. And, I'm happy to come back and say, here's the process from now on for requesting, marketing, but I don't necessarily want to have to dictate that. Like, I want it to be something that we can come up with that works for us all. Because again, I love the new ideas. I absolutely love them. But if this is kind of the new pace we're looking at, then I have to come back. I have to come back internally and say, am I able to sustain that within our current department structure? Because as you know, I lost a full-time position last year. Lisa Tyler, retired, and I did not get to fill that position, and I won't. And so I have to come back and say, how can we manage that within the department? So I'm posing the conversation points. And yeah.
First of all, I know all of us on the marketing committee and the entire commission want to wholeheartedly thank you and Danielle for the incredible amount of work you've been doing on our behalf. It doesn't go without many, many thanks. We are aware. We were unaware to the extent that we were. We were and we weren't. We just kept going with all our excitement, and yeah. I believe we would appreciate a way for us to just even put in a request, say, Sam, this is what we'd like for this project. This is what we'd like for this one. I think the good news is a lot of the heavy lifting has been done now on so many of these things. We wanted to get the gallery elevated, which we've done. And now we found ways to continue to promote it in this one particular event, a live stream, again, only because we couldn't get the support we needed for Quinn. I don't imagine we'll be doing a lot of those, but even if we do, I think it's going to be so much simpler next time. Same thing with Art Sip and Stroll. Putting that website together was an incredible amount of work for everyone involved. And it is gorgeous. We absolutely love the way it came out. It's so beautiful. And, but that's done now. That fortunately is behind us. And also the art call, that's done now. But now everything connects and makes sense. So when you click on our website for Yountville Arts and you go to Art Sip and Stroll, you go to art call, it's updated. You're not going to a 2020 art call. Everything now is connected. Everything is, for the most part, done. And I think for the way we're reaching out for promotion, I believe we've always checked with you, Sam, but I know that can be overwhelming because we're constantly checking with you 18 times a day, like, oh, this came up. So maybe there's a format we can use to, and maybe we can, well, I think we all try to get it to you as quickly as we can so we have time. So it's not like, Sam, Danielle, we need this, can we have it tomorrow? But I think if we have a standardized format where we can put in our requests, or just even a heads up of upcoming items, that would probably be helpful, particularly for you. And I know we're all happy to do that, just to stop the, I don't like to use the word chaos, but I know it's been unending.
Yeah, and I think that's a great suggestion. In really kind of what I'm getting at is just, you know, how do we all look forward, you know, and it's not so reactionary, but really planned that, you know, next month we're going to need this, and Danielle's going to continue to attend as many meetings as she can. And she'll, you know, one of the things we're going to post tonight is, you know, we have a newsletter coming up. So what are the things we're interested in, you know, seeing in the newsletter? But two is just kind of, I mean, Noelle, I think you sit on both, you know, you're on Art Sip and Stroll and on the marketing committee, but also how do those things work together? And it's not just Art Sip and Stroll, it's also the gallery or the art walk, and how do those all integrate into what, you know, Cindy as chair of that subcommittee and that group are doing, because it's not necessarily just the Art Sip and Stroll piece, it's all the pieces, you know, coming together, that got to be a lot. And totally. So yeah, so I feel like there needs to be some sort of coordination with, you know, everybody coming through a central thing, and whether that central thing is me or it's through the marketing committee. But, you know, I think sometimes, you know, something will get sent to us to produce, and we're not always including Cindy in the marketing committee. And so I feel like, you know, we're just having a little bit of a growing pain, in my opinion. And I think we just need to work through that and what the expectation of each is. So.
No, you're absolutely correct about our growing pains, but also as an orthodox method, it has been that we've been having these growing pains. Whenever we do something for the gallery, Rhonda, who connects directly with Jim, is always involved. So she can then carry the message to him. Jim is welcome to be involved, but we figure, as you know, Sam, with all the emails that we send around, it can get kind of abundant and rigorous.
Really more than 3 people anyway.
Right. Yes, as we found out or validated. And then whenever we're doing something for Art Sip and Stroll that has to do with marketing, I always connect with Cindy. So okay. Everything that we do, we always bring in the party that's involved, although it has been unofficial. It's either by email or we just pick up the phone or we text. But I know before every YAC meeting that we have, anything that Rhonda and I have done with Art Sip and Stroll, I call Cindy and get her up to speed. And I know everything regarding the gallery that gets done, Rhonda connects with Jim, so he's aware of what's going on. but it's a little, it's a little loosey-goosey. I'm not going to deny that it's not an official connection, but we have always told whatever committee head or our chair and you and Danielle what's going on. But probably at times it seems very unconnected, because until we all make that connection, there are some things going on that someone else might not know about.
Okay.
And also, everything is always brought up at our Arts Commission. Every meeting we say,
Exactly.
this is what we're doing. So
sometimes there are actions that happen in between those, that aren't necessarily discussed. So yeah,
absolutely.
And I will say the gallery used to be pretty straightforward. Danielle and Sam were pretty much sending stuff out. I was writing press releases. I'm not sure what's going on now. I know, Cindy, you're close to Quinn. I'm hoping that whatever we're doing for Quinn is the same marketing that we would do for any gallery show, that we're not doing any stuff special for him. Normally we rely on the artists to do a certain amount of marketing for themselves, and I think Quinn is probably very capable of that. We normally don't print rack cards, for instance, though that's the responsibility of the artist. Some of this stuff can probably be simplified a little bit. It's a much bigger picture when you're looking at Art Sip and Stroll. And the gallery tie-in, because of Guy, it's kind of on a different level maybe there. But, some of this can maybe be simplified a bit. And we really have to be cognizant of Danielle and Sam's time, and maybe give them ample time ahead to plan for some of that execution.
I think you're spot on about that, but also I just want to say, now with us, this has not been special just for Quinn or special for Guy. It's that we feel really confident we're bringing in shows and artists that are really worthy of continued attention and being front and forward in the press, and whether in publications, through the chamber, through our own means and our own newsletters. Quinn, by the way, I'm going to talk about this a little more later, but Quinn has invested his own money in taking out advertisement, and we're just supporting that. Well, it's more stuff I'm going to talk about, but we're supporting that because he's making the effort, because we want to grow the visibility of the gallery. We can pull back, but we feel we have some great artists in there, and we intend to do with every show, every quarter, whatever the show is, to push things out in the best way we can, in terms of additional emails, or like chamber blasts and our own blasts, and any kind of coverage we can get in papers or magazines, because we feel the gallery is worth all of that. But we don't want to create so much work for everybody that it's that we're working against ourselves. But
Right.
We're happy to at the same time.
Okay, so Danielle, do you want to say anything? No? Yes?
I don't know if Cindy had unmuted. I didn't know if you wanted to add.
Yeah, I unmuted because I was trying to jump in. I think that, I don't know how to start. I guess even though I'm the chair of the subcommittee, I don't feel like I know all the stuff that's coming to you, Sam. And particularly, the Art Sip and Stroll, I know that it's taking a lot of your bandwidth, but I don't know, I'm not the gatekeeper, right?
Right.
And so I don't know, it sounds like somebody kind of needs to be the gatekeeper, maybe, or maybe that's should be my role. I mean, I'm not, so that's, kind of part one. I think that when my focus is really, I mean, I've been pushing hard for the live stream because, for a number of reasons. I don't think that the gallery openings are very well attended. I think that, when we talk about, putting resources into things, if it's a choice between this or that, I would, I mean, not this or that, but say it's a choice between, I mean, you might have to make hard choices, which I'm happy to help you with making decisions about hard choices. Should there be a newsletter? Should we skip a newsletter? Should we skip a gallery show opening? Should we skip, other, I mean, it just, all this, the pandemic has really asked, I mean, everybody's reevaluating like where you put your resources. And so, I'm really doing a lot for the live stream. And I think that, to put like, I like the idea of treating all the artists the same, but, Quinn has a magazine cover, heard from his publisher today. The editor of the magazine has made a video for him. He has another person that's, making another video so that we can share this on the live stream. We have, so I think that, from my end, like Noelle was saying, like Guy Buffet, I mean, we have to promote him to people that are interested, and so I'm spreading a very wide net. I heard today from the Santa Rosa Photographic Society, the Napa Photographic Society, they're all very interested in participating in our live stream. So, I mean, that's kind of where I've been focused. And, I'm sorry if it's too much. What I've been trying to do is basically like hand it to you,
Yeah.
I mean, but
and I don't, this is not, I don't want apologies, or I don't want, to feel bad for what you're doing, because none of it's bad. I mean, it's all very good action and we want to support it. It's just, I'm being honest with you as to kind of what our bandwidth is. And I really hadn't thought about it the way that Noelle put it, that a lot of these are it all is happening at once, but it is true that some of that groundwork will not have to be made again. Like once we've done it, we're not going to be repeating that.
Right.
But I just want to make sure that,
God.
yeah,
like
that you're all aware that, whatever you build into Yountville Arts has to sustain you. So when you are not on the commission anymore, this has to be able to either be sustained by staff or be sustained by future commissioners. And so kind of what I want to make sure I paint the picture right now is this level of activity most likely can't be sustained by staff at this point.
Right.
Unless I get new staff or more staff, I mean, in the future. So just always kind of keeping that in mind, like if this is the new baseline, it has to outlive you or it'll go away. When we've Rhonda and Kim being on the commission, and I've been here for over almost 11 years, have seen that a lot, whereas someone gets super excited about a project and then they come off the commission and no one else can pick it up, and so it goes away. So I just want to make sure that, I'm happy to put together more of a, request type thing. I think, Cindy, that I don't need a gatekeeper. I can pretty much do that. I just want the expectation to not be that things can happen overnight or even within a week sometimes. And so I really just want to push everyone to be thinking months out, which I think that, we can definitely get to. And that maybe will be a reoccurring discussion at each meeting is, here's what's, here's where we're at in 3 months or 2 months or whatever the case may be, so that we're always thinking, that forward about preparing for things. And then, after Quinn, we have a show. And after that show, we have, Guy Buffet. And so, if we're looking at doing these same sort of things for each artist, or at least offering them, like starting to line those things up now so that we're not so reactionary. And then coming back to kind of whose role is that? So, is it Jim's role over the gallery and Rhonda, or is it Cindy's role working with the artist too? So those are kind of some of the things that I think we need to take into consideration. And I know that, Noelle, you said, well, we're finally bringing in that caliber of artists that kind of deserve this outreach. But I feel like all of our artists should deserve the same level, at least, of us being able to say, these are the things we can offer you. Not that they're going to say yes, but why would we not offer that to
But I
everyone?
guess I misused my words, and also I also was talking about the 3 artists of Yountville, how they're going to get exactly the same thing that Guy Buffet is getting and Quinn is getting. I just feel
Okay, good.
maybe, and it's not the actual artists, it's just the lifting of the gallery. It wasn't,
Yeah.
and so I chose my words poorly there. I did not mean that the artists
Oh,
that
it's
have
okay.
been here have not been. No, I want to really
Okay.
make that clear. Thank you for clarifying that. It's just that the whole point of now bringing the gallery to the forefront, our gallery wasn't even on our chamber website. What is wrong with that? We have wonderful artists in there and no one was aware of it. So I think
Maybe in the
that's
past we weren't that connected with the chamber.
very possibly so, but now that we can be, it feels like we should take advantage of it. However, if we're creating some kind of situation that can't be maintained, or it's unfortunate because
I think that's what you guys have to decide. I feel like is so our next show is the three artists, and then Guy comes in, and then we have another show. And so who is going to spearhead these action items for each gallery show? Is it the arts? Is it the marketing committee? Is it the gallery committee? Are you looking to staff to do that? So that's kind of where I'm posing the question of, so it doesn't get lost in the shuffle, I guess. Have you guys already discussed that? Is it already a done deal and I'm just out of the loop, or?
No, it appears to us that has that absolutely been finalized. My impression has always been that you were just finalizing it. To me, what I see the chain of events is we will create a beautiful piece of art like Danielle has been creating for the website, for social media. The show is only for 1 month, so I can't imagine in terms of budget and things, we'll be making additional banners to hang. If you'd like to, we can, because we will have the artwork. But I would imagine you will want to put it on the website with a graphic saying these artists are coming. I'll want to have the chamber do an email blast on that show. And
I think we will have a banner. I think we'll
great. Then that,
so mainly it's the things that I'm focusing on that we aren't currently doing. So there's a lot of work being done, with the live stream event and a more online presence and QR codes and different things that we haven't necessarily integrated into the past. So if that's the new expectation, is it who's going to work with the artist on those things? I guess is my question.
It seems to me that maybe the committee chairs and those people in each committee might get together, develop a timeline of events ahead, and work with you on whether this is achievable for you and your time. A lot of, particularly with marketing, I think a lot of things have to be moved on pretty fast, because they'll turn up a lead on something, a magazine or newspaper or whatever, and that we can't program. But on the regular things like the gallery, we always have a banner, and we have set times, or Jim figures out the times we're going to be installing, opening, and so forth. And we put those down and as best we can and send them to you. At least it would give you something to go off of. And then beyond that, whatever form or whatever process you think is appropriate, we could fill out a form, or we could, however you want to do it. The other thing, Sam, is you can say no to us. What you usually say is, what else do you need?
And usually that's okay. It's just that, some of the new things that are time consuming, and, Cindy's done a ton of research and time on the live stream and getting that going and how to have them next to each other and the whole thing. And so, if that is something we're going to be offering in the future, we need to make sure that it's manageable, and maybe we're not, maybe we're saying this is a lot, and, unless, and we don't have to have an answer to that question right now. So I feel like this is all really good feedback. I don't want to dominate the rest of your meeting. Danielle, did you have something you wanted to say? I'm sorry.
No, just real quick. I think for something like a gallery, maybe setting some kind of expectations of, as a featured artist, you'll get a, content made, a flyer, you'll get a banner, you'll get X post on social media, you'll get whatever. And then anything out of that is kind of up to them. And then maybe on our side, then we know kind of what to expect, what's coming, and they do as well. But sometimes it's just a little bit of a surprise to be like, oh, we need this content and it should be posted already. So I think setting some kind of parameters of, as a featured artist, this is what you'll get from Yountville Arts, maybe is a jumping off point, at least, just so at least on my end, I know what kind of content I'm going to be creating, or, what to start kind of scheduling on social media.
I think that's perfect. Our basic package for what everybody gets, and then we can start to discuss way in advance any additional things we want to consider as we know who the artists or the shows are. I think that's great. Unfortunately, we just started jumping on everything once again so much right now that it went from 0 to 60 in less than 1 second.
Yeah. And like you guys meant, sorry. Like it was mentioned, some artists are not as savvy or not as interested or not, looking for certain things, but that at least kind of evens the playing field a little bit, so that at least this is what you're getting no matter what. And then if you're interested in any extras, we may be willing and available to work on future projects.
Well, that's kind of how this evolved. I mean, and I think that, and, I think when you were, what Danielle was saying is sort of what I put on my list too. Like, you have sort of, the regular package, and then if you want the premium package, then you have to give us something more as well. I mean, whether that's 20,000 people that follow you, and, you're giving away stuff, and you're giving, and or Guy Buffet, he's giving us a poster, he's giving us his work. We're kind of capitalize on that. I mean, it's like, so I think that we're kind of leveling up, and sometimes it's giant leaps, but it's, it is really exciting, and I appreciate the work.
The other thing is none of us are having 2 people doing the same thing. So instead of having 2 people, 2 man hours for every thing we're trying to accomplish, we are each accomplishing different things. Therefore, it's even adding up more, because it's not Cindy and someone doing a thing. It's Cindy doing one thing, someone else doing one thing, Rhonda doing one thing, Jim doing one thing. These are all the event-based projects we're working on. So that really adds up quickly too, because we don't want to all be doing the same thing. It's a total waste of not a waste of everyone's time, but it's time wasted. So we all have things we're working on that need answers and movement, and this is what's happened. It's caused a big bottleneck, which we will sort out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a bad problem to have, right? Like, to have people that are so passionate and excited and want to do all these things. It's just us finding out time. And I hope, leading with that comment, and I'll end with it too, is like, I really want to figure out how to manage it so that we can do all these amazing things. And I love Danielle's idea. I think if your marketing committee is in agreement, we'll come up with kind of a draft outline of that, and then send it over to you to take a look at.
And then maybe bring it back at the next meeting or 2 meetings.
Exactly. Yeah, and just, have that be kind of our baseline conversation, and then we can, maybe sort of look at applying that same concept to all the different things we do that need marketing, so that the expectations are clear. Because poor Danielle, I just throw her all this, and she goes, wait a minute, I didn't do that last time. Do you want me to do it this time? And, what am I doing with this? So I think that having those clear expectations is important. So I really value all your input. I hope you know that. And I value all of your volunteer time and commitment to all these things that we're doing. And I just want to make sure we're doing our best to support you in that. So we'll come back to the committee with with kind of that outline for the gallery, and we'll just keep pushing forward. I don't necessarily want to tell you, don't email me or don't send us stuff, because that's not the intent of the conversation. It was just, how do we all work together to make sure it's all successful. So I hope that came across. Kim, I see a hand.
Yeah, just real quick, I would say two quick things. One, all these wonderful people we have on our commission right now all need to commit to a 10-year membership in continue. And then can we make it, I mean, we could make it like nerdy, like an event checklist.
Mhm.
You know, these are all the things that we offer, real simple. This is what we're going to use for each person or this event. You know, here's what, when I install a sculpture, I need
What
to
we're doing.
I do a press release and photos. I don't even know who I'm supposed to send it to. Really, I send it to you, but should I send it to Cindy first for the marketing committee? I never, you know,
Yeah.
I think a flow chart and some would be
Although ultimately anything that goes out from the town needs to go through Sam and I think ultimately Steve. So they need to
It
sign.
would be helpful if it went to Cindy first, so she knows, so the marketing committee knows what we're doing.
Even though
Or CC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a flow chart is super needed. And I think we can, because I mean, when you start to look at it, what do we do when we need to write that up? What do we do when we install a new piece? What do we do when we sell a piece? What do we do to market our art call? What do we do to, market, our artists ongoing? And so I think those are all things that each piece of that we can definitely work on. And then art sip and stroll, here are the pieces to that. So I think just capturing all this great stuff and in a way that's easier for us to track is great too.
Just one quick question too about quorums and emails. If someone is to send out an email like Kim saying, this is being installed today, she can send that one email to everyone?
Yeah.
That's
And then when we reply back, we should just reply directly to her to say how great everything is. We shouldn't CC everybody, because I know we're all trying to get excited and say, wow, this is wonderful, but we shouldn't do that.
Yeah, you just don't ever want to appear like the whole commission is having an ongoing conversation via email. So, and really the focus is on anything that could ever be an action item, but really just as a rule of thumb, it's best to just never reply all to anything. So I mean, if you want to reply back to Kim or, reply to me and Kim or something, but, you really want to try to, and I know it's hard for this commission, especially, it's very hard because of the way you work and the camaraderie and then just the interest in everything. So I think those kind of heads up, this is going on emails are great. And, if you all come out for a schedule, for a scheduled install and you're chatting or whatever, it's, Yountville's a small town. It's not like you guys don't see each other, but just, trying not to have that, they call it like a serial meeting is really the goal. So whether it's via email or in person.
Just don't hit reply all.
Just don't hit reply all. Try not to ever in your life use that, because it's always bad. It's just always bad.
So if we're trying to connect people in terms of something that's going on in the marketing department and it involves the gallery, we are 3 people in the marketing committee and there are 2 people in the gallery committee, correct? Is there anybody?
So maybe Cindy should.
So we're 5 then, right? So
maybe Cindy should communicate to me if it's marketing in the gallery. I've been involved with you and Rhonda on some geese stuff because of the gallery.
Right.
But when you get above 3, it gets to be an issue.
And Danielle and Sam, the 2 of you do not count in that manner.
No, we don't get to vote.
If I write something to Rhonda and it's long and extensive, and then maybe I've copied Cindy, so that's 3 of us, can Rhonda then forward that on to Jim? So she doesn't have to rewrite the whole email?
Yeah, I think So I think there are times when there's stuff you're working on that is valuable to more than just your little subcommittee or whatnot. It's just be very careful of doing stuff like that on anything that we're going to make a decision on. So if it's
Okay.
if it's your work, like Guy Buffet and the gallery install really would affect you, Rhonda, Cindy, Jim, you know, so we've already approved Guy coming into the gallery. We already know he's coming. We're already approved that show. We've approved the contract with him for his artwork and all of those things. So if you're just talking logistics, then I think it's fine to discuss that with yourselves. You know, because you're all connected to the work. But if it's something we haven't made a formal decision on, or we'll be discussing at an upcoming meeting or something like that, you really just don't want to talk about it.
Great. That's very helpful. Thank you.
And I'm sorry, I know it's clear as mud. I just always, you know, worry. I want to, you know, if for some reason at some point someone, you know, does a public records request or, you know, doesn't like a sculpture and wants to, you know, thinks someone's being favored, or I don't know what could possibly happen, but I just try to make sure that we're protecting you guys as best we can. So.
Okay, thank you. So I'm sure we're gonna, we'll discuss this a little further at the next meeting or two when there's more on the table in terms of flow chart and or a slip as to what we will offer any artist into the gallery, or for that matter, any artist on the art walk. Okay, so I hate, you know, you've been on microphone for such a long time. Do you want to do the art fund report, or do you want to take a break and come back?
Oh no, I'm okay. I am good. So I was just going to share my screen really quickly, if that's okay, as we walk through the report. So give me just a second. Okay, can everybody see the report?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this first page is in your packet. It's just the general fund report. So these are funds, the first part up here, 015415, that's our general fund. And so we've had just a little bit of revenue come in, and then some expenses, art show expenses go out. And that doesn't include the sale of art. So we broke that out, which is here below, art sale revenue. So in this fiscal year, which started July 1st, we've sold just under $38,000 in art. And then we paid out just over $23,000. So that leaves a balance of $14,630. I need to look at the detail on that, but I'm pretty sure that we still owe, this was as of December. I have to look if how much of that is actually our revenue. I think we may still have a payment that came out in early January for art, for a piece of art that will be deducted from that.
Sam,
So then
I'm sorry.
Oh,
Has Dale Ryder been paid yet? Because
I have to look.
I'm not sure.
I think so.
The sculpture's still there, but the buyer has paid for it.
Yeah, I'll have to double check that I sent that through, but that might be the one. But I'll double check.
Okay.
Thank you. And then the public art program fee fund, that's the restricted fund, that the 1% valuation of any commercial building permit, and that fund funds all of our expenses for the art walk. So we've had a little bit of revenue come in. I just did an audit with the planning and building department on any other pending deposits that need to move over. So I hope to have that finalized in the next week or so. So we'll have a little bit of money to move over. It's not a huge amount. Most of the larger scale projects are on hold right now. So we won't see that revenue for some time. And we've spent just over 14,000 on the art walk so far this year. So our fund balance there is at 47,616. And so we continue just to see that come and go. I'm just remembering that I was supposed to add a agenda item to discuss our administrative policies on fund balances to this meeting, and I did not do that. So we will talk about that in February. I think we all forgot that one.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't really understand, and maybe Eddie, I forgot to mention this to you, but for some reason, when you pull these reports into PrimeGov, it does this. You see the blue?
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's doing that to you. I have not seen that before.
Yeah, it's very strange. So these reports are just the detail, and this is as of the end of December. So I'm happy to answer any questions on that one. And then we can look at the Town of Yountville Community Foundation. And so there hasn't been any change in that since the last time we spoke. We've had just the town's transfer from last year, and then some residual Yountville sculpture donations. And so that fund balance is at just over 34,000. And you did approve the expense for updating of the mural. And so while we're on this, I'll just update. I did reach out to the artist, and we're waiting on scheduling that until obviously we have some updated pandemic regulations for travel and such. So we're gonna wait till maybe late spring, early summer. Hopefully we can get them up here to complete the project. So I'm happy to answer any questions that you might have.
No, it sounds like we're good.
My internet connection is unstable. Sorry.
Okay. We can hear you. Okay, why don't we move along then to the Art Walk Subcommittee? So that would be Kim.
Okay, Sam, if you could put up the pictures of the pieces from Dale O'Riger.
Yes.
We have one piece of his observation tower that's currently on display at Petit Logis, but it has been sold. And Rhonda and I and our husbands will be disassembling that soon and delivering it. So that spot will be empty, but we will be moving the little piece in front of Wells Fargo over to that spot. So Dale is going to participate in Art Sip and Stroll this year. So he will be coming down in June for this event. And he sent these two pieces to us, offering to bring one or both down for display. So this one is
To the clouds.
It's over 9 feet tall. And it has like, what does he call it? A headdress on the top of it. Bunch of little.
Is that glass or metal?
No, it's all glass. Squiggly little pieces of glass way up high there.
I don't think those are glass, Kim. They might be
Oh.
metal. Did he qualify that for you?
No.
I think that they're a coated wire.
Oh, okay.
When I saw them,
Sturdy.
I'm pretty sure, but we should check with him.
Okay,
I don't
I will
think
do
they're
that.
glass.
I'm making myself a note. Okay, so that's one. It's 9 foot 8 inches tall, but it's only like 5 by 6, so it's little. Or that one's 11 by 11 or something. No, okay, 5 by 6, 6 by 6. So it's small and skinny around, but very tall. And then the second piece is they both will be lit from inside, like as other sculptures, if we can find a location that will allow us to plug it in. So that's part of the determination. But if you scroll a little farther, Sam, there's the other piece. It's a little bigger. It's like 11 by 11 square. And I forget how tall it was right there being circled.
8'8".
8 foot 8. So just a little bit under.
Kim, when you say on display, you mean a permanent display for a couple of years, correct?
Years,
Not
yeah.
ju- Okay, good.
Yeah, yeah. So we've done really well with Dale's pieces. These will both be lit, which makes them a little more attractive, a little more noticeable. We do have one piece of his on display already, the Light Forest, but it's a different kind of piece. And I don't have a problem displaying more than one of the same artist. Like currently we have 2 of Richard Stark's and 3 of Danette Landry's that all expire at different times, but I think they're interesting and I think they're colorful. So we could take one or we could take both, and they wouldn't come until June. Anybody have any comments?
I have a question. To the clouds. I mean, that's a pretty small diameter. Do you think there's any more risk of a piece like that getting knocked or whatever, injured because it's smaller in the base proportions compared to, say, the other piece that which is building up?
I would always put his pieces, just because they're glass, I would put them, I wouldn't put them like where Who Rescued Who was, right on the sidewalk. I would put them off the sidewalk or in a corner or just in places where people wouldn't bump into it or open a door into it or something like that.
Okay.
That makes
Yeah.
sense to me.
I love them both because I feel like we've been losing so much color on our art walk.
I agree. I think we do need more color.
I really like the red one. Yeah.
Kim, I don't have
Well,
my
the-
notes. I don't have my notes, Kim, but will the treble clef of Richard is going to move to where observation tower is now?
Yeah.
Do you recall when that one expires? Like, what will the timing be about right to put Dale's back there in that location?
No, Treble Clef just barely got here in June of this year. We have a couple options. We have the community center is empty. We have Pythagoras will be timing out. Technically, the 2 pieces in Vandeleur Park, Polly and Raven, time out in May, I think. Yeah, May of this year. So we could, do a pair thing and put them both there. Or we can probably also, I haven't talked to Bruce, about leaving them on display.
I hope you will.
Yeah. So we have a couple different options come June.
The issue with Pythagoras and the glass, I think, is going to be the sap from the trees. Well, really anything we put there on that pad. But I wouldn't want to be scrubbing the glass on those pieces. But
It would be interesting. I mean, there are Gooby Gone type products. And I would think glass is one of the more sturdier things over a painted surface, but I can ask Dale about that too.
yeah.
Until we can all be out and about more and you are looking for art. I know it's been difficult to try and acquire art for the art walk because nobody can go anyplace or see anything. And it's a difficult situation, but some of our pieces like Pythagoras and when we lost the yellow twister, and is there a way to extend some of them until we can find something of just something else that might fill a spot with something similar? Or because I'd hate to see us all going all to, like, even the 2 pieces in Vandeleur Park, they're so stunning. And maybe the whole point of the art walk is to keep switching things out. But
I think some artists will be willing to extend them. And because I sent an email kind of back in summer, knowing this was going to go on, if people were interested in extending. And I think some were interested in just letting it stay because they didn't have a place for it. And some wanted to know if they could have another stipend.
right.
So there's a little of both. I think when Pythagoras
For
leaves,
another 2 years?
yeah.
Yeah.
I think when Pythagoras leaves, that brightly colored orange one, I think we could have Ivan bring us another colorful piece. So that's
That would be fabulous, because it's just, there's
Yeah.
certain things that are synonymous with our art walk that really get people's attention.
Yeah.
And another thing about Dale's pieces too is the rate at which things have been selling. They're seemingly more moderately priced.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't be surprised if people wanted to buy those too. They're more approachable in terms of pricing.
Yeah, I agree.
Can we approve now without having the actual location figured out?
We can.
Yeah, why not?
Hey,
Maybe, I mean, I like them both. I like Dale's work. I'm not sure placing them together, but we have until June
Mhm.
to figure it out. And our best luck has always been Petit Logis, but if we can decide where, and Kim, you're good at that,
Mhm.
down the road, but have Dale at least know that we want them and have him hold those for us, which I'm sure he will, then at least we have options.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Motion, yeah.
I move to approve both of Dale Reiger's pieces as presented, and decide at a later time before June where they're going to go, or whether we take both or just one.
I second all those things Rhonda just said about Dale's two pieces. Do I have to repeat all of those things?
No, it's okay. I'll type
okay.
it into the record.
Okay, great.
When I go back and review the video.
Okay.
So do we have a roll call?
Yes, Commissioner Wordsworth,
Yes.
Commissioner Scher,
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Caption,
Yes.
Commissioner Cant,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cook,
Yes.
and Chair McDonald.
Yes.
Thank you.
So is that it, Kim?
Nope, there's one more for your consideration. There's a piece by Peter Hassan that came through to us through artcall.org. So Samantha can bring that up.
Oh, okay. Yeah, wait, we have that, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Forgot.
Okay, it's not that exact piece. He's proposing to make that style with 3 rings, but with these designs. It's called Cycle 3, something about the environment. And
Cycle 3 extinction.
So you can, it has an environmental statement. See, the first one is like death and skulls. The second one is bees and honeycomb. And the third one is frogs. Looks like all frogs.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting piece. It's not colorful though. So I'm not sure what everybody thinks of it. It's 48-inch diameter. So it could either be sitting on that pedestal, or we could find somewhere to put it where it didn't need a pedestal.
What about where Nautilus used to be?
That was my thought. It's a good location for it. It just not being colorful.
Yeah.
Like Noelle said, we're kind of on a run of non-colorful things right now.
Is it in bad form to inquire with an artist if they have, that we love their work or like their work, but we are really in need of something more colorful, if they have something more colorful?
No, I think I looked at his website and I don't remember if he did everything in that or not, but yeah, we can always ask. We can always ask different pieces too that would be colorful.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking, kind of by saying that what we're looking for, and then maybe rather than they pick up on that we like their work, we'd like to engage with them, but we need something that really fits in more. And it would encourage them to maybe create something or find something that they already have in existence.
Yeah. Do you guys like the idea of that piece?
Yeah, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you like the look of it or the environmental statement?
Both.
I
But
like both, but it feels like
Agreed.
much more of what we've been having coming to the art walk in terms of its coloring.
Okay.
and would it require a pedestal?
Depends on where we put it. We could make him put a base on it if it was something we wanted to install in the community center. You know, if you wanted to put it where Who Rescued Who was, then it would want to be on a base. So,
Okay.
okay. Does you want to make a motion for me to talk to the artist about something more colorful?
You don't actually have to do that. If he comes back with something, then we'll bring it forward for a vote.
Okay, I will
If
just
that's okay.
ask him about that then.
Okay.
Okay, that's all I have.
Well, actually, I have one more question. Tomorrow at the council meeting, 3 o'clock council meeting, one of the agenda items has to do with slingshot.
Yes.
And my question is, are you going to be there to present, or is it Sam or Steve, or how's that going to be handled?
I think Sam will present it, but I will be available for questions.
Perfect. Okay.
What about it?
Everybody know what that's about?
No.
So you approved back in, oh, it's been a while, August, I think, to accept the gift from the artist for Slingshot, which is the sculpture out in front of Community Center. He had offered to gift it to the town with an extension of his agreement for 2 years and another stipend. So then the town in Yountville Arts would permanently own the sculpture and could do, I'm working on the, you know, if the council approves it as well, because they have to approve anything that is permanent or gifted to the town. I'll work on an agreement with Gary, but it sounded like it was no strings attached. The town, we could place it somewhere, we could put it in storage, we could gift it to somebody else, we could sell it, we could do whatever we want with it. So so it just has to go before the council for the final approval of your recommendation.
As long as we can move it in lieu of something, you know, bigger, we're working with Richard Bensall and who knows.
Yeah.
As long as we have the ability to move it, I understand.
It becomes our sculpture.
Mhm.
We can do whatever we want with it. And that was also a question I got from the mayor, is he was not advocating to have it in that prime spot. So I assured him that that wasn't the focus. So.
Okay, so
Am I correct in that this gentleman was commissioned to do a sculpture of John Lewis?
Yes.
I think
Yes.
that's something too you might want to bring up. I mean, I would consider that really an artist of note. That's quite an honor. And to have one of his pieces.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I think it really adds to, you know, what I was saying before about even about the chamber not knowing the gallery. What because you have all been doing this long before, some of you have been here for quite some time, you have elevated the experience of the art walk, the gallery, to such a place where now everybody does want to know about it and everybody does want to get involved in it. I mean, we have publications reaching out to us to talk about it because it is at a place. And even if we were not here to continue that on, I would imagine the works and the gallery and the art walk would be self-perpetuating, and the relationships would be in place to continue that work. And I'm off of that soapbox now.
Okay, so I think we've covered the Art Walk subcommittee. Let's move to gallery. We have a show opening a week from Thursday, the 11th. We're calling it openings right now, not opening receptions. Sam, I guess you can tell us how we're going to stagger through as we have the last two shows, right? People on Thursday.
Yeah, so we're following the retail requirements of the state and Napa County, which is 25% capacity. It's a small space, so we would allow 4 people from one household at a time to come through. And then we hope to have, I'm waiting on Quinn for a few things. So we would hope to have also his virtual slideshow up on the website before the show. And then just the information on each piece so I can get the art tags made. But we have the flyer designed. I've ordered the banners, and Danielle is working, and this can come up under marketing too, but Danielle's working on the Eventbrite site this week for the live. And maybe, I don't know if you want to chime in here, Cindy, when we're talking about him, or if you want to just wait. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Well, I have a quick question. Sam, do you know when the Eventbrite site will be up and running so people can start to register?
Danielle, did you have a chance to look at that today?
Nope, it is on my list for tomorrow. So I'm going to try to get that for definitely by the end of the week. I'm hoping I have the next few days are pretty busy, but I'm hoping to just kind of sneak it in.
No, that's perfect. Great. I just wanted to get a sense of that. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're building our own Yountville Arts Eventbrite account and then mimicking what Cindy has created for content. And so our goal is to have it up at the end of the week. And then I'm also going to re-release the press release we sent out for Quinn. And so it got picked up. I actually got an email back from Sasha Paulson, but I don't think I've seen anything in the register, so I might just reach out to her one more time. But Sharon did run a really nice article about the Quinn show, but hopefully she can just do a reminder.
Exactly. Okay, so that's Quinn. And then in the packet, you have information about our local show. We're calling it Yountville Artists times 3 x numeral 3. And that will open on May 6th. The 3 artists are Yvonne Bundy, Nancy Gates, and Jeff Spratt. Nancy does pastels, Jeff does oils, and Yvonne does acrylics. And we're going to add a little thing to it. Marianne Lyon, who is on track to become the next Napa County Poet Laureate. Marianne and I have done poems for 2 of Nancy's pieces. We're intending to do verse for the other 2 artists as well, so 2 per artist. And these will hang in the gallery with the art. So
very cool. I love that.
So I don't know what the COVID restrictions will be in May. If we can, we'll recite poems, and the poems will be poems directed at specific paintings. So we're going to add a layer. So we're very excited.
You'll have them framed? Will they be framed so people can come up and read them? Exactly. Oh, that's exciting. That's great.
So that'll add another layer, and I'm especially excited. You know, we kind of ebb and flow in the gallery. I mean, we've got people with fame with Quinn and Guy, but it's nice to showcase the people in town that have talent as well. So this is going to be definitely a very nice little local artist show. Do you want to add anything, Rhonda?
No, I think I love the idea of you and Marianne doing the poetry. Thank you for thinking of it and bringing it. I think it'll just make it richer, even though it was already looking good. And since I think really 2 of the 3 artists may not have 10 pieces each, I think it kind of helps spread everything out and keep it all interesting as well. So all good. And I appreciate you doing that a lot.
Okay, so that's a little add-on. So that's our May show. Then we move to Guy will be in the gallery for the next 3 months, starting the Thursday before Art Sip and Stroll. And then in mid-September, we have a new show opening. And do you want to talk a little bit about that, Rhonda?
Oh,
what the plan is right now?
I don't have any images to show you, although I saw something come into my email after the meeting started. Brett Holmes is a professional photographer, videographer of adventure sports. He's a former Olympic skier, and he videotapes these high-profile artists that you and I would have heard if we watched World of Sports or watched the Olympics. And then he goes out and shoots video of them, and of which he can do stills on some of it. He also is connected with guys who do the dirt biking or the high profile X game kind of biking. So he may bring that ingredient to us. So he's a photographer, but he's pretty, I'll use the word again, rich in terms of his content and what we might be able to do with him. He's worked for some very high profile videographers learning the trade. So he has a lot of equipment, and he will be able to bring us whatever we feel we can use in terms of setting up a screen and doing a loop of some of his action videos. So we'll have to work with Sam in terms of what is possible with that. I was thinking that we might be able to do one in the art room, Sam, like we did once before.
Mhm.
And then maybe one out in the gallery, in the actual gallery. He has said that he would bring us the equipment. That all depends on what we can handle. And I'm counting on, what's her name, Noelle, Noelle and Tim to provide input, just kind of making it all work in the context of the gallery. So anyway, it's pretty exciting.
And do you want to describe, there is a Yountville connection?
Oh, Jeff Holmes, who works for, this is kind of, try and follow me on this, Jim knows, who owns Cartons and Crates, Jeff. It's his, this is complicated. Let me put it this way. Brad's mother-in-law lives in Yountville, behind Ponch's, and is a long-term Yountville resident. So he's down here a lot, and the close local connection is through Jeff Holmes, whose long-term girlfriend is his future mother-in-law.
Okay. Can you tell me the name of that artist again? What was the name?
Brad Holmes, Holmes. And he's not related to Jeff, even though their names are the same, but he will be by marriage ×2 if those silly people ever get married. But anyway,
that's where it got a little incestuous.
Yeah, I know, it's kind of weird. But anyway, we do have a local Yountville connection, and Jeff, as many of us know, we ship things. We go to Cartons and Crates for either supplies. He's also shipped the last 2 art walk sculptures back to the artists. We have I have a long-term relationship with him, and it's a nice Napa Yountville connection.
And if anybody wants to see Brad's work, I was just in Cartons and Crate shipping out to a family member one of my paintings. Above the desk, up kind of near the roof line, are a bunch of Brad's photos that you can look at if you're in that shop. So
yeah.
Okay.
I love that we have these big giant artists of stature, but then we also have the little Yountville artist ×3. You know, it's we need to make sure we keep that little.
Yeah. And
but what's great about that is the bonus material you're bringing to it. So it's just, and then with the photographs and possibly video, it's different. That's what's really nice about it, whether it's local or notable, or to bring something different and exciting for people to want to come in and know that they're going to have quite an experience. I just love that.
I just wish we could fill the gallery like we used to be able to, because these are such great shows, you know?
And I'm hoping we can go small and sweet in December with a children's art show again. I guess it depends on what we're allowed to do at that point in the year. So,
That would be
but that is the plan, a children's art show again in December.
nice.
So that covers, unless anybody has a question or a comment, that covers the gallery.
You do need to take a motion and a second vote on the gallery show.
Gallery show, yeah. The local artist show. Doesn't anybody want to make a motion? That
I make a motion that we move forward with the local Yountville Artist ×3 gallery of show.
Second?
Oh.
Second that.
Robin,
Okay.
Robin. All right, Commissioner Wordsworth,
Yes.
Commissioner Scher,
Yes.
Commissioner Resnick,
Yes.
Commissioner Caption,
Yes.
Commissioner Cant,
Yes.
Vice Chair Cook,
yes.
and Chair McDonald.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next is literary, and we can jump over that. There's nothing planned now. We're hoping to, I'm hoping to do Out Loud again in the fall and hopefully do it outside with some space chairs, I would imagine. And we'll be back to some literary, some book events when we can go back into the town hall. So that's all I'll say about literary right now. So we'll move on to marketing. Cindy.
It's easier if I unmute, huh? I did take sign language in college, but so let's see. Basically, I'm going to talk about the our subcommittee has been meeting weekly to just kind of get. Mostly, we're focusing on the live stream. This last week, we basically did like a run through and using StreamYard, which is so we've come kind of a long way in terms of the live stream is what I'm sort of the challenge here. So we have a host for the live stream. We have hired Gabriela Fernandez, and she is the morning host of KVYN. She also has her own podcast. She also is an activist in Napa, and I think her organization is called the People's Collective for Change. So she's very easy to talk to. We have no worries about filling the airwaves with with whatever she wants to talk about. But they have been Quinn and Gabriella have met several times. They're working on the agenda for, I mean, not the agenda, they're working on what the questions and answers and what they're going to talk about. The Eventbrite, so I'll talk about StreamYard. So we're using the platform StreamYard, which Sam found, and I've been just basically trying to acquaint myself with that so I can move through it quickly. And it's for live streaming. We're going to live stream only on YouTube, so that allows accessibility. Will be the cool thing about so StreamYard is basically like Zoom, except it has more toys. It has kind of a toolbox where you can bring in things. So if somebody asks a question in the chat, you can bring that in and say, Kim from Yountville wants to know, why is the sky blue? And then that will appear on the screen. And then it also has a lot of branding. So people are going to see the Yountville Arts logo front and center. Well, not front and center. It's actually going to be to the right and on top, but it will be there throughout the whole live stream. And also promoting and then we can also bring in videos. So I made 3 videos, and I put them all on the drive that we share. And the first one is basically like a loop video before people get there. It's sort of just a loop of a very cool graphic where the camera goes inside of the lens of a camera, and then you see, you know, behind the lens, and then and it kind of loops around, and basically it's kind of a greeting for people. It's better than like a countdown. So but it's like our countdown. The second video is a promotional introduction video, and that is on the Eventbrite page on our what's called our landing page, and that has the same graphic with the camera going through the lens, but then you see Quinn, and then you see Gabriella, and then you see Yountville Arts. So it's those three, you know, promoting those three things. I also made an outro and an outro as opposed to an intro, and it comes at the end. So at the end of the broadcast, we will be bringing that in from the toolbox, and it basically says thank you. It says, you know, thanks Quinn, thanks Gabriella, and thanks to you, and Yountville Arts. So it ends with Yountville Arts. So that's kind of it. The other things that StreamYard has allows us to do are bring in videos during the actual live stream, and so I'll be with Gabriella, and Quinn I think will be in another room. I think probably the best thing to do. We were thinking of different locations, but I think ultimately we'll probably have Quinn in the gallery. This is a bit of a change, Noelle and Robin, but I was thinking because of all just the technical issues that we had when Noelle and Robin and I got on the same screen, just like the first Zoom call that you ever did, you know, it took us about a half an hour to get there, and the whole event is supposed to be an hour. So this is going to, you know, so there's a steep learning curve here. But we're going to have some rehearsals. They've already committed to like 3 rehearsals. And so hopefully it will all flow. That's the name of the show, is Flow.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so what was I talking about? So that's the live stream. And so from that toolbox, also Quinn sent me today a really lovely video that the editor and publisher of the ICM photography magazine, of which he was on the cover of, she did a 3-minute video that said that we'll be able to show during the broadcast, that says, you know, why she chose his painting. I mean, why she chose his photograph, what the magazine is about, what you know, what drew her to ICM, how she found him, and it's 3 minutes, and it's very good. It's very colorful. There's also going to be another video from the CEO of this company that he did graphics for. I'm spreading a very wide net to invite, as I said, mentioned earlier, I'm inviting people that have an interest in photography, have an interest in conservation, have an interest in art, and that's kind of where we are.
Cindy,
What?
all this sounds totally amazing. The Eventbrite is only for the live stream?
Yes. So the Eventbrite is an invitation, and I made a mock-up. Basically, what I'm trying to do is like make a very detailed draft. And you know, one thing I thought of actually after I hung up with you, Sam, the other day, was theoretically we could just take my name out of Eventbrite and put Yountville Arts on Eventbrite, and that would be it. But you know,
like transfer your account and
yes,
make it Yountville Arts account.
Right.
Okay.
I mean,
Well, why don't you and I hop on a Zoom tomorrow and see if we can do that if you have
Yeah.
time, and then
I mean,
that would kind
that
of
way because everything is connected on event. So basically, I made an Eventbrite invitation that's a very complicated draft. But if we take my name out of it and my email out of it and my YouTube channel out of it and substitute Yountville Arts channel and email and all that, then all we have is me paying, you know, $14.
well, we can change that too.
Yeah, we can change that too.
That definitely would simplify things. And I know, Danielle, I think you were in
in a bunch of webinars tomorrow. So I will send you an email, Cindy, and see if we can hop on together like we did last week and figure that out.
Yeah.
Because
So
that would be a lot simpler.
yeah, that would be a lot simpler because I understand it now. I understand, so yeah, so Eventbrite, and when you get the invitation, and so once that Eventbrite invitation is done, then it goes to Noel, who's going to give it to the chamber, who's going to send it to their people. Napa Photographic Society, which is a club, they also want to send that out. Santa Rosa and Sonoma also have like photographic enthusiasts, and I heard from them today, so they want to send it. So this is like this is the art plus photography, art plus conservation, art plus ocean interests and all that kind of stuff. So anyhow,
Marin County also has a very active, I don't know if you've approached them or not,
no,
but so Cindy, there's no charge on Eventbrite,
right.
okay? But are we paying the moderator, and is there a budget? What are we doing?
We're paying her $500, and that was our budget, I guess.
I think we approved that last meeting, didn't we?
I'm sorry, what?
I think we approved that at the last meeting, didn't we?
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah. Okay.
The other person that I was talking about at the last meeting just wasn't a fit for us. She said, basically, if we wanted something in the New York Times or in the Wall Street Journal or Washington Post, she's our person, but we're not there.
Well, Cindy, thank you for all the work you've done on this.
Sure.
It's really fabulous. It's really fabulous. I understand even more now Sam's concern about this ongoing, and Kim's comment about committing for the next 10 years.
Well, what I propose is that we all just get tattoos, so we brand ourselves with
across the forehead, of course.
Yeah, and then we'll all be bond. Yeah. Well,
thank you for all the work you've done on this. It sounds fantastic.
Well, it's been very interesting, and really, it's the learning curve. It just like, it's really just like Zoom, where we all figure out, oh, am I muted? Am I not muted? And all that kind of stuff. And it's the same thing with these other platforms. So it's been kind of interesting.
And just about the time you get that all down, it'll change.
Right.
So are all the commissioners going to get an invitation on Eventbrite?
No. Yeah. It also integrates with our MailChimp account.
Okay.
So it'll go out to our whole mailing list.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Right. The other thing, I just got an email from Jeff Durham. Do you guys know Jeff has started an online newspaper called the Yountville, and he wants, okay, some people don't know that.
I don't know it, no.
He wants me to give him some details on Quinn, the upcoming show, he wants me to post it on his website and share Quinn's contact information with him. I think what I'm most comfortable doing is just basically passing along the press release.
Good idea.
And I don't feel comfortable giving him, anything further. I don't want to give him, like his number or whatever. I mean, he can
get that if he needs to.
Yeah, he can go to his website.
So we had a request for them to be added to the town's distribution list. So when I resend that press release out this week, Cindy, he'll receive that.
Oh, that's good.
So I can send it.
That's good, because it's been a topic of conversation.
He'll receive it through that.
In my home.
Yeah, small town.
I just
small
wanted to
town.
bring up another opportunity, possibly, particularly for our art walk artists and possibly some of our gallery artists. Quinn had the opportunity to purchase an advertorial in Napa Valley Life. And so he will have a full page article in the Arts in April issue, which will also supplement anything we've got going on, which I'll talk about in a minute. But what I wanted to say is, for all of our artists, should they desire, the publication will give a special artist's price. It's not inexpensive, but it's much, 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 much less if you were to buy a full page of advertising. And this is not just an ad saying, here's my exhibit, this is what I do. It's an interview. So I think that's something nice that we can offer to a lot of our people on Art Walk, or anybody who's, we will talk to Lydia, the representative for Guy Buffet, to see if she might be interested, but for a particular amount, you can have a full page story about you. And yes, it's paid story, but nobody would really know it's a paid story. It looks like the magazine is writing about you. And I think that's really good for artists who might want to promote themselves further.
So Noelle, Cindy, then when are we is he cross marketing with us?
No, this was independent. This was something he did on his own.
No, we're not paying. Is he mentioning us? Is he talking about, I mean, that's something we don't have any control over, but do we
Cindy
know?
And I already, this is us communicating. We discussed it, yes.
Himself, but what about us is my question.
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Of course, we're not going to say you must do this, but the conversation would be a gentle conversation saying, of course, you talk about whatever you want to, but if you were able to mention the gallery, because there's also an article about galleries in this issue, it would be nice if we got some mention, and therefore cross promotion, and great for you and good for us. So yes, he is being reminded.
When is that coming out?
That's going to be
coming out? Do you know?
Arts in April issue, which I believe comes out in April.
First.
And what I also wanted to say in my further conversations with the editor of Napa Valley Life, she has requested that we present her with some material on the gallery, and I'm gathering materials. I will be sending it to Sam for her approval and any copy or information. A lot of it's just going to be straight from the website. And hopefully we will get a mention in there will be a full page gallery article that's paid for by Napa Valley Life. It's not an advertorial, and hopefully we'll get a mention in there with the gallery. And that's why I think it's really nice that Quinn took something, so maybe there'll even be more cross promotion. And also for Art Sip and Stroll in the Arts in April issue, once again, letting everybody know what's happening and what will be going out, but they've requested information on Art Sip and Stroll, and hopefully they will put us in their events section, where they put a nice paragraph. They put a nice little paragraph and say, don't miss Art Sip and Stroll coming June 12th. And that issue will be out for 2 months leading up to Art Sip and Stroll. And hopefully they'll post a picture and all of that. And so that's that, and in the calendar section and in the events section. And then also after the event in the August issue, once again, I'll coordinate with Sam, but we will send them material so they can then they can show in the scene section. It's called the scene, and they have little brief photos and little paragraphs about things that happened previously. So hopefully we'll then get mention of, here's some photos from Art Sip and Stroll. This was a great event. So fingers crossed we'll get some coverage in both issues, leading up to and promoting, and then after the fact. So we have established a nice relationship with them, and this is something that will keep on going when the occasion calls for it, just to provide them with information. And Quinn is getting us off to a really good start.
Thank you. Yeah.
So before we move on from marketing, I think Danielle wanted to pose the question for the upcoming newsletter to see what, I mean, we've talked about a lot of things, but is there anything else that we need to focus or would like to see in, when do we send that one out? March?
That one will be the first week of March.
Yeah.
And then the next one, remind us.
Would be June.
Yeah.
June? Okay. So I would say the March issue, there's probably a ton of stuff that Kim has, but we certainly would want to mention that Quinn's still in the gallery, and we would want to also talk about the Yountville Artist ×3 show in May.
Yes, and I will do I've made on my list of things to do a press release for all the sculptures that we've done lately. So
Okay.
I can send that over too.
Yeah, and any pictures would be great too. It kind of breaks up the text in there a little bit.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And then we'll do some art sip and stroll. And even like we could probably just do a whole gallery area in there that has the next 3 shows lined up to kind of get people on their calendar. Oh, yeah, we'll have the Quinn, Yountville Arts ×3, and then Guy Buffet, save the date. Okay.
If there's room, I know that a lot of the press that we are asking to do for Art Sip and Stroll seems premature, considering how we've done it in the past. But with an artist like Guy Buffet, we want to get it out there, first of all, so that the community can attend, but also so that Lydia's list of Guy Buffet followers, people coming who plan to come in, who plan to rent rooms, who plan to do all the good things. Anytime at this point, we can do even a sentence that says, here's our poster for Art Sip and Stroll. I hope that we can always take that opportunity. And I don't think it's too soon to be thinking.
No, absolutely. The reason we are still waiting, I believe, on and this is a different discussion, but a watermark is why we really haven't pushed that out yet.
Oh, okay, I didn't know I thought you were still gonna go low res on that.
Just for more publications and getting it out everywhere. I think it would be smart for an artist of that caliber to put a watermark on that. But I think you guys were going to talk to his publicist about that.
Yeah, I think that's something that we would do since we own the poster and the art. We don't own the art, but we own the poster. And Michael Aronson can do that. And I've asked him to do that. I didn't know any of that was waiting on it. I thought you were just using the low res version so that it can't be reproduced.
Yeah, that's what's on the website now. But I just think if we're going to really start promoting, and it's up to you guys, but really start promoting that, definitely just put it out there.
I'll ask him right away. He knows about it. He's just, we're going to move on to Art Sip and Stroll, but he's working on a couple of the things for us right now. So I'll talk to him about it for sure.
Okay. So we're
Can I just say something about marketing?
Go ahead.
I would just like to say, I can't even put into words for Cynthia, Noelle, Robin, Rhonda, what all this effort that you guys are putting into marketing is just amazing. The depth and breadth that you're getting the word out about Yountville Arts is just something I never imagined. I mean, this was just, a few people just work and volunteer. And I mean, I know we're all volunteers, but the heart and soul that you are all putting into this is just amazing. And it's so appreciated. It's just above and beyond anything I could have ever imagined for Yountville Arts. So thank you all.
Well said.
Okay, so we'll start with that list. So focusing on the gallery shows, the press release for all the new or information on all the new sculptures that we've added, Art Sip and Stroll, and then we'll see where we're at from there. Sometimes we like to highlight an artist, so we'll take a look at what else we might have. Perfect, thank you.
So have we kind of tiptoed around Art Sip and Stroll? As we're going to get further into that, Noelle.
I guess the greatest thing is we have a beautiful website now for it.
Yes, thank you.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Thank you. Thank you, Danielle, and thank you, Sam and Rhonda, it's really beautiful. There's still a couple little things, but it's the layout. Danielle did just an exquisite layout of the
Beautiful,
website,
beautiful.
and Art Call looks great, and they're all connected now, and it's all good. And in order to really proceed, when people want to look for the event, they have to find something, and they have to find something good and compelling, and they will now. So
And-
that's all finished up, and it's been a lot of work, I know, for Danielle and Sam.
Just to interrupt you for a moment, Noelle, I'm sorry, but I want to again applaud Danielle's work on that. It's beautiful. And I gave the component, or I told Lydia, okay, it's time. You can go on the website. And she did it while we were talking, and she said, oh, this is really beautiful. This is a well-seasoned professional who knows what she's looking at. So that was number one. And then in conversations with our graphics guy, Michael, same thing. We're talking and he's looking, oh, wow, that's really beautiful. So it only echoes what we've already said, but thank you. It's worth mentioning again because you did a beautiful job on it. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful.
Well, and before you all
Very
might go to
talented.
look for it, there's a little bit of a glitch on Yahoo search that when you put Yountville Art Sip and Stroll 2021 on it, it says home. It takes you to Art Call. And then when it says about, it does not take you to the landing page of Art Sip and Stroll. So Sam, anything we can do to help, but I sent you an email.
So where
I
do
don't know
you,
what's going.
I'm on Yahoo search right now, and I just did Yountville Art Sip and Stroll, and it takes me to the new page.
It does. See, on my laptop, it kept taking me to. I sent you. Do me a favor. I sent you my whoops, a screenshot.
I was just showing you. So I'm on.
No,
I'm
I
on
know. I
search
understand.
Yahoo. Yeah. So if I click here, it takes
No,
me
but that's
here.
not the landing page. That was exactly my point. That's not the landing page. Home is the landing page. There you go.
Oh, it takes. Well, no, it doesn't take you there. It's what comes up first, unfortunately, for some reason, and I'm not sure why. Oh, and this
On
one goes.
that,
I
can
see
try
what you're
to work.
talking about.
That looks like SEO stuff, and I can try to correct that.
Yeah.
But the more people search and go to the homepage, that's what's going to elevate through the rankings, and that will be the top result. So I'm not sure why about. Maybe that's just most clicked on at this point. But I'll look into that connection.
But if you look at home, if you go back and you look at, it says home, that takes you to Art Call.
Yeah.
So it's only one search engine, it looks like. It's Yahoo, because Google doesn't do that. I don't know who uses, do people use Yahoo search engine?
Well, I did today, and that's what I found.
Yeah, but it's
And then,
people use
and
Google.
I'll check it on Google because I have that also.
So I just
So
did
it takes you to
2021.
about, but the other thing was where it says home, if you will look at home, instead of taking us to our landing page, it takes us to Art Call. And I think that's going to be confusing.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's something we can control, but we can look into it.
Okay.
It's really how the search engine, because it is a homepage on our Art Call, but it's not the right event homepage.
But the good news is when you scroll down to the bottom of that page and it says to find out more about Art Sip and Stroll, it takes you to the landing page.
Yeah.
Well, and the good news is it's going, you might have to search a little bit depending on which one of those you click on, but it doesn't take a lot to get to the home page.
But make sure that's the page you really look at, because that's the beautiful piece that Danielle created. I mean, every extension of it is lovely, but that one is really spectacular.
So
Right.
yeah, if people go to artsipstroll.com, it works. And if you use Google, it works it comes up with the correct page. It looks like it's just that particular search engine, which yeah, the SEO stuff is kind of difficult sometimes, but we can see what
Got
we can
it.
do.
Okay.
Okay,
It is.
is that it for our Sip and Stroll?
The only thing I wanted to update was our call for artists ended yesterday. I did end up reopening it because I had a few returning artists who said they were not able to get on in time. So I hope to have information out tomorrow to the subcommittee on any brand new artists, because those are the only ones we'll be jurying, and then just taking a look at numbers as a whole. And then I was going to circle back on the press release. Maybe we could schedule a short call just to talk about how we want to word some of it. I'm just super nervous at this point in so early to talk about ticket sales and wine tasting. So I just want to kick some ideas around on how we might, get out that early, save the date type of thing, but then release more information as we're feeling more confident. So you probably thought that was going to come out of my mouth, which
Yes. We did.
But we can.
so yeah, I'll schedule a time to talk to you guys about that.
Yeah, that's great. Because we, however we have to do it, we'd like to do it. I know I'm getting comments, questions, when are the tickets going on sale? Lydia and her clientele, they want to know. And so we tried to word it in a way that gave us some wiggle room
Yeah.
in case we aren't able to get it out right away. But yeah, all ears. Let us know when.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay. So I think that is about it. Any other staff reports or anything more from you?
The only thing I wanted to mention is that our next meeting, because we're in the budget preparation process right now for the next fiscal years, I'll be bringing that information forward at our next meeting for review and discussion. So really start to think about how we're evolving and the things that we're doing differently, especially around the gallery, and if we need to be requesting some different types of funding mechanisms. And then I also wanted to let you know that for the first time, we are actually eligible for the Napa County Arts Commission funding. So because the Town of Yountville Community Foundation has now been operational for long enough, we're able to apply for potential grant funding through that cycle. So that's, we still have our Yountville TID funding coming in. This would be on top of that. And so the foundation approved on Friday going ahead with that application under the Town of Yountville Community Foundation. So I'll be working on that. And I was told that they really are focusing on more of like emergency type funding. And I think my thought behind it is for Art Sip and Stroll, kind of in preparation for additional things that we're going to have to consider coming out of a pandemic, that we haven't necessarily passed all of those costs on to our artists. So that's kind of the angle that I most likely will take. And we would qualify for up to $5,000 for that grant. So
now, is this Arts Council Napa Valley or something else?
No, this is the actual county commission, the Napa County Arts Commission, and so it's a different mechanism.
Okay.
I don't think the Arts Council, they're really focusing on specific artists grants. Right. Yeah, for emergency or COVID response and stuff like that. So.
Okay, that's great. And Rhonda, anything quick about the museum or no?
No, still closed.
Okay.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay. Unless anybody has anything else to talk about, I think I'm going to adjourn this meeting. So thank you, everybody. Everybody's working hard.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Talk to you soon. Thanks, Eddie. Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks, Danielle.